Right guys, it didn't quite go to plan. Sadly, I couldn't film the test ride, but come away with an interesting deal for a standard Panigale V4. Not cheap, mind you, but it has sparked my interest. It's a lovely beast. And yeah, very different to the V4, sorry, to the VL, the 1299 Panigale. But this was very nice, very smooth, hard acceleration, lots of power. The semi-reactive suspension is kind of is okay. It's great. It's lovely. It's all lovely, to be honest with you. It's bigger physically. It's harder seat, and your weight is a bit more on your hands. But this is a lovely bike. Let me talk to you while I ride, because I'm looking like a prune stood out here. Got so many things in my jacket. So, riders of Bridgewater, this is very lovely guys, great service. They gave me a good price on the 1299, best part of £12,000 trade-in, and for the standard on the road it's just below 20,000. Now I wouldn't go for the S, just like I wouldn't go for the S on the 1299, for the main reason that I'm a road rider, and I don't really think it's worth spending an extra £5,000 on fancy suspension that I'm just using on the road. So yeah, it's not my bag, to be honest. It looks lovely, it looks great, and it's nice to say you have all the bells and all the whistles, but in reality-stricken road riding, it's not really necessary. The standard suspension is pretty bloody impressive. The suspension on this bike, I can't fault it on the 1299, and I strongly suspect it'll be the same deal with the standard V4. Not feeling great, to be honest. Not feeling very well. But yeah, the V4, she was a beauty. Very impressive, very smooth at the bottom end. Let's ride and talk. Sorry guys, I've got to push on and get back home. So yeah, I think they were on to me. I think they knew who I was, which is quite funny, because I mean, the sales rep who I spoke to, or I dealt with him last time I came down, but he knew my name, he remembered what bike I've got, the ZX-10R, and as soon as he saw me, he said, the camera's got to go away, you can't have the camera on your helmet. And I was like, what? So I tried, guys, I tried getting the camera on, but to be fair to the guys at Riders Bridgewater, no official test ride review has been done yet on the V4, and they've got no go ahead from Kawasaki from Ducati for anyone really to do a review. So they don't want me going in and doing a review, which is fair enough. I respect that. That's fair enough, guys, no problem with that. I did try though, a cheeky kind of try of keeping the GoPro on the helmet, but the sales rep's boss told him in no certain terms am I allowed to ride the bike with the camera on my helmet, so I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. I didn't want to pass up the opportunity of a test ride, because I am actually genuinely semi-interested, and I've come away feeling even more interested because I've just found out that it does actually have a passenger seat with passenger foot pegs, so that changes things quite a lot. But I need to find £8,000, because basically it's all in just shy of £20,000. I know that is a lot of money, but it was pretty impressive. Oh, the engine sounded absolutely bloody gorgeous. The exhaust wasn't far off the same kind of volume as this one, and the power was very impressive. The suspension was harder. You had more weight on your hands. It was a bit more kind of bum up, and kind of weight on your hands as such. I would say it felt like it had more torque maybe, but it was smoother. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything different, would you? It was much smoother power delivery than the VL, than the 1299 Panigale. I mean, you know, if you put the two together, you would be hard pushed, I think, to kind of find a massive difference from the standpoint of performance. The sound was beautiful. It's silky smooth delivery of power. The quick shifter was smoother, definitely. Yeah, definite improvement on that. The electronics, not very intrusive. You know, I rode it in sport, and then I put it into race mode eventually. You can adjust on the fly, no problemo. I'm going to take this road, and I've got some jerk right up my ass. Looks like he wants to race. Yeah, it was a bloody great bike. It was beautiful. I'm sorry I've not got any footage of the actual test ride. I can't do a proper review of the bike because Ducati won't allow me, basically, and if I did do it, the guys at the dealership will get in a lot of trouble and it could cost them their franchise. So understandably, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. What I do is for fun, and yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. So, and no one to lose their jobs as such. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. I can only give you the footage that I've got. So yeah, I guess you're gonna all have to keep waiting and watching YouTube for some official review from some official kind of sponsor, kind of attached with Ducati as such. But yeah, let me get back to the actual bike. The speedo, the kind of face, again, is full TFT. Very much like how you can adjust everything as you go, basically, through kind of different rider modes, and you can also go into the actual kind of individual settings when you're on the go as well, and adjust that. So you can adjust things like your traction control, whatnot, while you're on the go. So that is pretty impressive. Let's let this jerk go, because I'm fed up of having him sat up my ass. Fuck off. Nothing worse, is there? You know, little boy racer stuck up your ass. Anyway, back to the V4. Yeah, it's physically bigger. It's much wider. It's taller. It's foot peg wise, it didn't really actually feel a lot different to this. There's no clutter. There was no massive amount of heat coming off of the exhaust. So nothing really bad from that standpoint. I'm sure you're probably going to feel the heat more in the summer, but from the standpoint of a winter's day, and it's like 8-9 degrees, nothing terrible really, and I couldn't really say I felt any real great heat, but I'm not feeling any heat from this bike today either. What else? The reactive suspension, for me it's or semi-active, isn't it, on the Ducati. For me it's always is it worth it kind of situation, and for me I really don't think it is. Just for me personally, I'm a road rider. Yeah, I do like to go fast occasionally, but I'm not, you know, really pushing the limits and the boundaries, and it's kind of wasted. And for all you're buying it for, really, in my opinion, it's just for boasting rights, you know. Oh, I've got a linear suspension, you know. It's fair enough, guys, I get it. Sorry, I take nothing away from you, or don't get me wrong, I just, from my pocket standpoint, it's not worth me doing. It's kind of £5 more, and £5 can stay in my pocket. Will I buy one? Well, I don't know really, to be honest. I'm kind of semi-tempted, to be honest, because I don't think it's as good looking as this as the 1299. But it's different. It almost makes me feel a bit like the 1299 is a bit old-fashioned, you know, which is strange to say, because it's probably one of the best looking bikes on the market. So basically I'm looking around 20 grand. It has a rear seat, which was a bit of a deal breaker for me before, so that is like great news, because I can still pick up taffy if I need to, not if I need to, when I do, so that is cool. Yeah, I need to think on it. I need to think, because he gave me a much better price on a trade-in than I thought I would get. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that figure. £8 £8,000 more. I know a lot of you are going to say, Grizz, for £8 you could actually buy a very good bike. Well, I know I could, but this isn't my objective. I just want something that's a little bit kind of, oh my god, kind of fucking hell, this is nuts territory. To be quite honest with you, you know, I could spend £8 actually on a bike and still be in that territory. You know, if I really work on that principle, then I might as well just keep the ZX-10R, because that thing is, oh my god, territory. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna think about it. I don't know if I will or won't. I don't know really. But I was kind of expecting not so good a trade-in price, to be honest, on the 1299 against that. And also I didn't think I had a rear seat, so yeah, rear seat plus a better trade-in price. It is tempting. It is very tempting. Anyone wanting to try that V4, you won't be disappointed. It's a lovely bike. Great power, great balance. I would say things like the quick shifter, like I said, are definitely improved. What else can I say to you? The mirrors are the same. The mirrors are fixed. What else? You haven't got that suspension, rear suspension kind of reservoir and whatnot under your leg. For me, it doesn't trouble me at all. What else? But I know some people it does. What else? Yeah, maybe a little bit more weight on your hands. It's a bit fatter, it's a bit wider. Weight wise, it doesn't feel a massive amount different. But things I did like was just that it was just the bottom end markedly better than the 1299. It's my only real bone of contention with this bike, is that bottom end up to 30, 40. It's just, This bike is just a little bit, and it is what it is, isn't it? Come the end of the day, it's a bloody Ducati, and what else do you expect? Grizz has been unreasonable, really, to be honest. But didn't have any of that. Didn't feel like there was any real restriction on the bottom end. It felt very smooth and progressive. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Is it as good as the BMW? Is it worth spending the more? No, it's not really, but not from a it all depends really how you want to answer that. From a perspective of performance and rideability and real mechanical kind of terms, it's not, no. But from a standpoint of the big red Ducati, you know, and the V4, yeah, it's bloody gorgeous. So it kind of is. So it's, I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. I posted it up on Twitter and Instagram, you know, give me your questions. I'm going to test ride the V4. Some people said, what's it like riding when you have a great big boner, a hard on? Well, oh god, I nearly had a bird. I hope that's a better position for the camera. Yeah, great difficulty. The boner got in the way, and yeah, it definitely, it still gives you the, it's definitely got that kind of je ne sais quoi of the Panigales, you know. I would still maintain that this is a better looking bike from a present standpoint and sound and kind of nostalgia. Yeah, it's a bloody great bike, and yeah, it delivers again on those fronts, just like this bike. It's a bike you don't kind of forget in a hurry, you know. What else was there? There's no heated grips, there's no cruise control. The exhaust didn't make me feel that hot. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be from a standpoint of riding in the summer with that exhaust, like I say. And I can't really think of anything else more to add, guys. If I think of anything else, I'll add it on at the start. I did a little walk around video. Hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, disappointed I can't bring you a proper review, but understandably Ducati are being quite protective of their media and who gives coverage on it, and Grizzy Boy was not trusted with it, which is understandable because Grizz is quite irresponsible. Anyway, it was great. A massive thank you to riders of Bridgewater. It was an absolute pleasure riding the V4. It's really given me some food for thought from the standpoint of a possible trade-in, and I'm not just saying that. I'm kind of chewing it over. I've got a what you call it? I've got all the gumph on it. I've got like a catalogue all about the V4 inside my jacket, keeping me nice and warm. I'm going to sit home and make a cup of tea and eat a few biscuits, and I muttered to myself, can I afford £8 grand? I could probably find it, to be fair. So it's interesting times. So guys, off I go, back home for my cup of tea, throw a tyre in front of the fire. Thanks all for watching. Sorry it's not exactly what I was promising, but it was a little bit out of my hands, and I'm respectful to these dealerships, and I'm grateful for what I've had today. And yeah, I'm very happy guy. It's a bit of a shame I couldn't bring you some footage, but there we go. Tatty bye everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.